Okay. Yeah, it's working. Somehow it's working. Hello guys, what's up? Welcome to the first stream where I have no idea how to do it, but it seems to work. Yeah, the mic is on, you should hear me. Camera is on, active, blue, everything is working. So, yeah, looks good. From the studio today, because I thought by 50 subscribers, you can do it from the phone, but somehow it's not working. And I have to figure it out, or maybe to wait 24 hours or something like that. So, yeah, guys, first time live. And yeah, curious what will happen, because there is no plan. Just be together in truth, which is the literally meaning of the satsang, sitting together in truth, which you are, by the way. And you notice the channel is now called You Are That, which is a direct pointer on that what you are, which is that, always that which manifests itself as the moment is. Absolutely as it is. So you are that. Like Nisargadatta said, I am that. Every word will always be too much or too less, because it's too less to describe and impossible to describe, impossible to reach true words, because words is something already imagined. The words is a communion, so to say, that you made for yourself to entertain yourself, so to say, to tell stories to yourself that you have been lived in so many bodies. So when you meet your family, or when you meet your friends, or wherever you go, to the club, to the pub, or you have a date, then you will not be sitting there and saying, there is no me, there is no past, there is no story, there is only this. So you will have a very, very fast date when you say it to a woman. So on the other side, it's like there is no story, there is no I, there has never been any I. But at this other side, there's only self-entertainment of unconditional love of God, not as a creator, but just a manifestation of that what is. And in that seemingly manifestation, they are seemingly different people, which are not different from that what you are, because you are that. And it's just self-entertainment. And then you go out and you talk only about stories. I experienced this. I was there, this country, this trip, everything. So this is always self-entertainment, but it's always you. So there's no other people to that what you are, different from that what you are, because there's no identification with whatsoever. So this is the beauty, that there is not even you as an identification of something that you think or believe to be. That is the illusion. Whatever you think to be, whatever you believe, whatever state you reach, every state will always change, because it's the nature of states. And of course, there can be a state of enlightenment. There can be a state of nothingness, of I was in nothingness. There is no world. There is nothingness. There's just this nirvana, nothing. Also, the non-duality talkers are like not real exactly that sometimes, when you can just hear the same language all the time, the same words, the same tonation, still the distance, like not the life itself. Sometimes you can just, they are teachers from the identification of the light, of enlightenment. So everything is there, seemingly, yeah. So, but you are that. You are that. You are that, which means you are everything and nothing. This is you talking to yourself. This is not Lukasz, separate from you. but you talking to yourself. And this is the whole energy that flows in this videos here, in this live streaming, which I will regularly do for you guys. Just to remind yourself that there has never been anything else but you. And I don't mean any I on an ego or any state of nirvana, state of enlightenment, state of non-dual consciousness or state of consciousness or pure light or awareness or whatever. All those are words. But that what you are is beyond everything. I always say beyond the beyond, where there's no beyond anymore, because there's no possible to go beyond, because this I that tries to go beyond everything is just dissolving. Just a temporary dream. Never happened. And then suddenly this is like, I am that what I always has been, always will be. The undefined, unreachable, unchangeable absolute, which out of that everything is without separation. It just is. That what is. So that what is not different from that what you are. So the perceiver, the perceiving, and the perceived, well, the Holy Trinity of the Father, of the Holy Spirit, or the Ghost, I don't know, Holy English, and the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Father, is that the Holy Trinity is like already something projected, like, and then you get seemingly lost in that, where God is seemingly forgetting himself in his own creation. And because it's not possible, it's an illusionary thing from the beginning. It never happened. So the whole story of an I that tries to reach a state of consciousness, state of enlightenment, awaken, finally find home, the truth, finally be released of all pain and suffering. It's all illusionary. So the small little I, the ego, which is the devil, the evil, the synonymous evil, which is knowing every trick of separation, how to sustain the separation. Every trick is known, like the shadow to survive. Know every tricks to be the shadow. But so to say, you are the light. But like many people, they have a near-death experience, which is very common. And now at that time, we have many people talking about that, and many people are awakening also. It's a beautiful stories, but it's just a story. But when something like that happens, like near-death experience, suddenly your whole nature is revealing to itself, completely opening, like a shock, like immediately openness. Through this nothingness, the absolute darkness, which is not empty, which is not dark, but it's just like absolute knowing and beauty, because there's no time, no space limited. You're just absolute relief of every material ideas and the world. And then of course the light coming seemingly to yourself, like the most pure bright light, and there's no chance to not get into the light. But still it's a story, like you cannot go into the light, because who is going there to that what you are? The light itself, which is the first perception of you are, what you are, the pure consciousness. So the perceiver, the Father, who you are, out of that what you are, beyond the Father, beyond everything, just the light, the first pure consciousness, and then the nothingness, and then the world. Like this Trinity is like coming out of that what you are, and you are not different from that. It's just the manifestation of what you are. But the people have near-death experience. Suddenly, a lot of them are like Christians or nihilists. Nihilism, I don't know. I think I hope I did correctly. Yeah, so they are believing in God or stuff like that, religion, Bible, all this bullshit, and then suddenly they have a near-death experience, and they have this coming into the truth, which is not awakening by itself, because it's still an I. That there is, of course, this revelation of the light, pure consciousness, this eternal being without any conditions, any borders, and unconditional. But it's still an I that it's getting into these states. But that awakening process is done like going on. So you cannot be the light, or you cannot go into the light, because you are that what the light of consciousness is, without knowing itself, without identifying. So this is the beautiful Ramana, the 7 steps of self-realization, from the who am I? Who am I? Who, first state, am, consciousness, I, to the Father. Who am I? But this is still like, and then the fourth state, which is like, who am I? And then boom, beyond the pure consciousness, beyond the light. And then I am that. Who am I? All of those identifications, and suddenly, like, the world is not real, the world is empty, the world is not existing by itself. So from the first state, you are just asking yourself, what is the truth? Who am I? What is this bullshit? What the fuck is this going on? Is there a God? Is there a creator? You're looking in philosophy, you're looking in psychology, in theology, you are looking in every religion, you are a spiritual seeker, you are esoteric or whatever. You're just going from one hole to another, one bubble to another, and you will never find yourself. And this awakening, which is happening by itself, suddenly is like you are having this feeling and this perception of more and more clarity, that the world would never give you an answer, that the clarity that the world and everything is just waves and ocean, just coming, going, changing all the time. So you cannot be something which is changeable. So you cannot be that which is coming and going. And the asking itself starts, and it deepens itself seemingly. And then you have maybe this beautiful experience of nothingness suddenly. Like in the story of Lukasz, it was exactly the same, the case. Where I was like maybe 12 years old, 13 years old, and there was an initiation by smoking cannabis, smoking marijuana, a strong doses of smoking. I just smoked the marijuana, and suddenly there was this nothingness combined, coupled to a absolute fear of dying, fear of not being, because how can you be in the nothingness? There is nothingness. Oh my God, this is so scary. So running through the whole house, not even closing eyes, because there was this nothingness, which was because the identification with the body was so strong, and the believing I am here, I am the human, this is I am, and the fear of death, fear of nothingness, because the nothingness was out of this identification with the body, the nothingness was so scary, to not exist anymore, not being anymore. So this absolute fear, which was absolute hell at that state of being a child and experiencing this, because the cannabis initiated this in the brain, whatever, and then boom, this nothingness just appeared. The experience of nothingness, but at the same time, the experience of a strong identification with the body already. So this was like the first initiation, so to say, a experience of nothingness combined with a very strong identification with the human body and existence. So this is like possible experience. Every experience is possible. So you can experience nothingness. Now you are experiencing yourself as that what is. But also there's the absence of everything will be the nothingness, which is also experience, which is possible. So this is a possibility of experiencing yourself as nothingness, this timeless, spaceless space, just the darkness itself, which is the nirvana, whatever you call it, just the experience of nothingness. So it's possible. Also the experience of pure light, pure consciousness. The most, let's say, first slight vibration possible. Pure consciousness. Also a possibility of experience, but it's not what you are. Because even consciousness is not always. Like consciousness is not there in a deep sleep. Where is the consciousness? Where is everything? Where is the universe? Where is the world? Where is this deep sleep? When you go to sleep every night and this deep sleep is coming, there is not even consciousness, but you still are what you are. And this has to be the paradise itself, without any perception, perceiver, perceived, perceiving of whatsoever is just not there. No time, no space, no world, no human, no brain, no problems, no everything, no other people, no work, no worries. So there's just this absolute, which is not even nothingness, beyond the beyond, beyond the beyond, everything, no perception, but you still are. So it just before the projector, because the question is always, when you identify yourself, I am the projector, who is projecting the projector? What is projecting the projector? Like in a cinema. So the projector itself, which is projected by that what you are, let's say, it's just undefinable, undescribable, unreachable. Just to point that even the consciousness is like not that what you are. You are that what consciousness is, as that what consciousness is manifesting, but without any identification, without any separation in that. It is already the wholeness itself. So, yes. And here we are, as that what is. You are that. Eternal peace, unconditional love. Because there has never been something else, and there will never be. Playing itself with itself, entertaining itself. So, yeah. This is it, guys. Yeah, let's see if the stream, like, it's working, and let me just check if you can only see myself, yeah, my stream and my face. Then we can just go. What else is possible here? I see the chat, guys. Dashboard, settings, feedback, chat. Hello, everyone. Top fans, the chat, community moderation, Teilnehmer. So for the first time, I'd made some tests before, but still this is a new. And I would really like to do it for you guys from the phone, but it's not working. I really don't have any idea why I cannot stream from my phone. But it should be possible after some time, I think. Like it says, I need 50 subscribers, which I have, but it still doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know. So what is non-duality? Another concept where the ego tries to grasp something. And ego is also very happy about every concept, because every concept is a chance for the ego, an opportunity for the ego to survive. And the ego knows that exactly, that every concept, every definition, every whatsoever is a chance to survive, chance to be as the illusion. And it's very happy about that. So, like in the seemingly story of Lukasz, there was like just a imperative voice. Like there was this book of, how is it called again? I just forgot. Let me just find it out. Carlos Castaneda. The active side of infinity. The active side of infinity, where I ordered the book in the Amazon and it came here, and the ego was saying, the voice in the head, don't take this book, don't read this book, it's so dangerous. You should not read it. You cannot take this book, it's so dangerous, don't do it, please don't do it. So literally the voice of the ego was like fighting against the truth, and at the same time, in this fear of dying, absolute psychosis and absolute madness of the voice telling to what to do, what not to do. Like the identification with the ego was so strong. At the same time was this quality. This is exactly what has to be done now, to take this book, to read this book. So, and there was this awareness suddenly of the clarity, being myself, taking the book, reading the book. So there was a absolutely strong energy of surviving, where the identification with the ego was there, but the awareness that I am was already seemingly getting more aware of itself. So the fear of dying was absolutely strong. At the same time, the ego was saying, don't read this book, don't take this book, it's a dangerous book, you will die when you read it. But at the same time, this just non-doership, which was also doing everything and just taking this book, reading the book, and the ego was like quiet. And this ease of that what I am was just getting more obvious to itself, step by step, book by book, word by word. So the Carlos Castaneda was also very strong to read those books, and it was exactly how it was meant to be, to read those books at that stage of seemingly awakening. So whatever happens in your appearance now, it's exactly as it is meant to be. Even if it's the worst nightmare of whatsoever, biggest depression, psychosis, and suicide attempts and whatever. Yes, it is the ego fighting for surviving, denying the moment, denying what is, but it's still the game that you put on yourself, because there is only you. So those words happening here might be for you, where you can just be with everything that is and just release everything, just let go of everything and share yourself here in this space with me, with others, with yourself, because there is only you, where no judging is happening, where nobody will laugh at you, nobody will ever try hurt you or whatsoever. You are absolutely loved and welcome to share yourself as you are, with everything which is in your system now, how you are, exactly perfect as you are now. So this is the whole energy behind the streams, these videos happening here. It's meant for you, for your, like, maybe accelerating your awakening it can happen faster, seemingly. Yes? So this is the whole effort here. Because here I also have no chance. It has to happen like that, because there's nobody to decide to do this or that, to go against the moment where I could do something else, seemingly, which I did for a very long time, was like resisting that what life wants to manifest. And the consequence of that is, of course, suffering and pain. So here I am in disappearance and talking those words to myself. So this is what is happening. As you are that, there's nobody for any control to whatsoever. But seemingly all the spiritual teachings and non-duality talks or whatever, even psychology, therapy or something, everything is a exact manifestation of that what has to happen, because otherwise it will be differently, or it would not be at all. So everything is exactly it has to be in every aspect of however it is manifesting itself. Every aspect, everything is exactly as it meant to be. And this is the whole game, where the ego tries to survive and control and have the ability to choose and actively create a future. So, and then just this experiencing this suffering, this is not what I am, this is not what I am. So that what you are will be just more and more obvious to itself, revealing itself to itself, which is already wrong to say that, but just there is nothing else but you. And the wrong, the false, seemingly the ego, which is just a seemingly dream of identification of the wrong, because you are not that ego, you are not the body, you are not anything which you could identify yourself with. This one is dying, seemingly, like falling off. And there is just this clarity that it never happened. It never happened. Because something like that is not possible. That there is an I existing entity which could decide, not decide, which could choose, not choose, which could do or not do, which could think or not think, believe or not believe. So all those possibilities of stupidity, what I always say, is just a dream. And it never happened. And that's why those words are happening here, just for this seemingly accompany you in this process of awakening, where there is seemingly somebody that also has experienced all these identifications, all this awakening, all this suffering, all this trying, not trying, all of this being, not being, deciding, not deciding, all the suffering, experiencing that, the absolute hell, and seeing through this illusion. And now the ability to talk about that, where you are sharing yourself, what is now for you? What is your feeling? What is there? To just share it, so it can dissolve. It can just let go of everything. In this space here where everything is allowed to be, nobody will judge anybody. This just unconditional love where you can just share whatever it is. Every question is welcome, because if you're suppressing it, if you are just depressing it in yourself, in your system, so you might think that it on the surface it's gone, but the more you depress it, the more you suppress it, it will accumulate itself. It will like loading. It's like a bomb getting bigger and bigger, and somehow it will go out because the energy cannot be suppressed. It has to flow. So all traumas or whatever, your fear or whatever you are running away from, it will get bigger and it would cause more suffering. And here the space just to share yourself, absolutely, with everything that is. And let it go. Everything that is there. Not suppressing it anymore. Just to let it be. Just be. If there are tears, tears are welcome. Tears are beautiful. As they are cleaning, releasing the pain, which might be suppressed for years, for the whole life. So suddenly you can just let it be, where it can first time flow absolutely effortlessly free, being hugged, being embraced by the love that you are, where the child, the hurted child, can just be embraced finally, where you are absolutely free, unconditional, because you are not independent anymore from parents, from society, from teachers or whatever. As a mature, seemingly human, where you can just absolutely be yourself and welcome everything, not suppressing anymore, not depressing, not just pushing it down, taking it off, not giving attention, just it wants to flow, freely flow. The trauma work, the trauma work, trauma. Trauma means wounded, seemingly wounded, but you cannot be wounded, you cannot be hurt by anybody. And you cannot be conditioned by whatsoever circumstance or anybody from your family, friends. Nobody can ever hurt you, touch you. Nobody can change what you are. So also releasing this trauma, let it be. That there is no danger at all. There is no fear of whatsoever. As there is only that what you are. There is only this, which is absolute freedom. And releasing this trauma, this just seeing that you are not in danger anymore, that there has never been any danger. And that the trauma actually is also a big gift for you. Why a gift? Because out of the seemingly identification that you could be hurt by somebody or whatever, this separation just falls off. That there's an I and there's somebody else who did something to me. This is not possible. And this is the space here for releasing this, just absolutely being with anything which is all energy. Yeah. I'm just checking if I can maybe share with you this. Together in truth. Yes. Yeah, like I said, I have 2 headphones, but none of them are working. Like, can only take one. But still, have to buy different headphones for. Yeah, so yeah, this is the energy here is just like that the live stream wants to happen very often for you guys to just being together in truth, being what is with everything that is and wants to be, and just being the present moment, being the presence. Because there is only the presence. The presence itself that you are, you cannot not be. You cannot not be what is. This is the only possibility. And it sounds complicated for the ego. Of course, the ego will not understand that because mostly we try to understand with the mind, where we are trained from children on, from the first class until getting mature, like only the mind, never meditate, never being, just being, only analyzing, only categorizing, and 1001 theory, putting all the informations, boom, 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 the school, everybody, which you don't need in your life later. Like maybe 10% of that what you learned, and you've been forced to learn. But that's how life plays itself. So it's not like this very common consciousness of some people that they are in the cage thinking that the world is mad place and we are controlled by entities and politicians and influent rich people and living in this matrix and believing it. But this is still the I that has an idea of itself, and that's the reality of experiencing how you are experiencing yourself in this seemingly matrix, in this hell of small cage and consciousness, little, just all this fear-based concepts. But this is how life plays itself. And then you are just seemingly awakening, where the clarity of that what you are is just getting more obvious of itself, that there has never been any separation, that there has never been any duality in reality. Of course, duality, so to say, is a requirement for experiencing, because without hot, you will never experience cold. Without up, there is no down. Without left, there is no right. Without woman, there are no men. So without dark, there is no bright. Yeah. So all the seemingly duality, which is just, it has to be for experiencing yourself. So also, like, you can only remind yourself of who you really are when you seemingly forget yourself. But by forgetting yourself, seemingly in the dream of the ego, you have not forgotten what you are, because this is the only thing that is not possible. That's why it's a seemingly awakening process where nobody ever awakes and nobody has ever awakened. Not Buddha, not Jesus, not Ramana, not Osho. Nobody ever has any awakened. It's all life that you are in different roles, seemingly. No separation. It's just the appearance of that what is. So like Jesus was saying, I am and the Father, that we are one. There is no separation between whatsoever. No entity in separation to another entity, no human to another human. It's just that what is, which is eternal life, experiencing itself. But it's also too much to say, like not experiencing itself, because it just is what is. You are dead. I will only say now, you are dead, you are dead, you are dead, you are dead. Every question will come, I will say, you are dead. That's it. So yeah. Oh, we're getting 40 minutes now. That's crazy. Yeah, so today from the studio, where you have the perfect acoustics. So if you're asking yourself, what is this on the walls? Those are panels for absorption for the sound, which is everywhere in the room here because this is my music studio where I produce music. I also do some live music streaming on YouTube, as you have already seen maybe, which I also want to share. Just when I make music, I will just record it, and yeah, you can just, if you're interested, you can check it. And there's also this idea and plan to use my own music for my videos as a background music, like frequencies, healing, meditation, solfeggios. I really love solfeggio music, which is a very special kind of ambient, which I really enjoy. It's really cool. So yeah, you can also enjoy that. I also released some jokes for you guys, and I also enjoy that. And of course, the main focus on this channel is like satsang, let's say just being in truth, awakening, enlightenment, all those just words, but just as a pointer, just as a presentation of my channel and what happens here, just to say it to you, yeah. So you have the ability to ask me, possibility. Lukasz is learning English every day, improving, so it will get better and better and better. Where you have the opportunity to ask me any questions anytime. I also invite you to my offers, to one-on-one meetings and WhatsApp group and many other offers. You can see on my homepage. You can find it in my description of my channel, my videos, and yeah, I'm pretty happy and just fulfilled with bliss and love, so to say, to yeah, talk to you, to talk to you guys, and this is, I'm doing it only for you because you ordered me. I have no chance. I have to do it. It's an inevitable activity. I cannot escape. And that's the freedom, by the way, the unconditional freedom. So, yeah, the biggest love, biggest inspiration, biggest joy for me, just to be here and talk to you guys, with you guys, having fun, being in silence, talking, self-talk. It's a self-talk. God is talking to himself, to itself, to herself. Doesn't matter. There is no identification. So yeah, guys, the first stream, let's say, we are getting to the end. Thank you for being here. And yeah, just let's see how it will come the next time. I plan to do it from my phone because here I'm a little bit limited to the headphones and to the yeah, but it's also everything new for me. I will have to learn that. So yeah, guys, thank you very much and see you in the next stream.